Hi, my name is Tally Snow. I'm the coordinator of Messianic Jewish Studies at the King's University. Thank you so much for joining us for this year's academic lecture with Rabbi Stuart Dauermann. We're so pleased that you could join us. The King's University Messianic Jewish Studies program exists to train Jewish leaders in the Messianic community to be rabbis and teachers, as well as Christian leaders who are called to be bridges between the church and the Jewish people.
I believe that the Messianic movement, when it was founded, never really asked itself one fundamental question. For what reason did God raise up the Messianic movement? I believe the Messianic movement was raised up by God. But I don't think the leaders of the movement, and especially in the early days, when it was all the overflow of a time of revival and shifting change, I don't think they asked, for what reason did God raise up this movement? Not what reason do we want it to exist, but what do we think God is up to? I believe that the Messianic movement is meant to be a sign, a demonstration, and a catalyst of God's consummating purposes for the Jewish people. That's what I believe it should be. A sign, a demonstration, and a catalyst. As I said earlier, I believe there is a time when through the Holy Spirit and under the governance of Yeshua HaMashiach, the Jewish people are going to be brought back to covenant faithfulness to God. I believe this. I believe that our movement should be a sign of this, a demonstration of this, and a catalyst of this. I wish everybody agreed with me because I'm so convinced it's true. What has happened instead may be illustrated by an experience I had at the Messianic congregation a few years ago where I did a workshop. During a break, I said, I was talking to a group of people around me, and I said, you know, some people think the Messianic movement exists to teach Judaism light to Gentiles. And one of the women said, yeah, that's why we exist. Now, with all due respect to this lady, and it's what goes on in many congregations, is that why God raised up the Messianic movement? Did God raise up the Messianic movement to teach Judaism light to Gentiles? This is not a disrespectful statement about Gentiles, by the way. When I came into the missions movement in the mid-1960s, there were quite a few Gentiles involved. But all of them were there to serve God's purposes for the Jewish people as they understood them. Amen. And they're people I continue to honor. They were terrific people. I can name the names of some of them. I remember a man named Emil Olson, who was a missionary with the American Board of Missions to the Jews. The first time I met him, I came to a meeting at the 72nd Street headquarters of the American Board, and Emil Olson was vacuuming the floor. Actually, he was running a carpet sweeper over the floor. He was a missionary in training. The room needed to be cleaned, and he was going to clean it. He was a servant of God, even if it meant grunt work. He was there to serve God's purposes of the Jewish people. These are people who I delight to honor, who should be honored. But the question is the Messianic movement, does it exist to teach Judaism light to Gentiles? Does it exist to be a place where Baptist ladies can dance?